We're talking about Mike's Court and Mother's Day. All that and more coming up now on Joy in the City True Stories. Joy in the City is a program highlighting people and organizations having an impact in our city. All too often, we hear about the problems and the dysfunction in our culture, but we are coming with a different approach as we take a look at the good things going on right here in our community. I'm Bethany Marshall, and you're about to see what God is doing in our city. We want to thank our program sponsors, Park Home, for the donation of furniture used in our studio, Made by Vogel for their contribution of many props in our studio, and our platinum sponsor, Harry's Construction, for their ongoing support of Joy in the City. Once a month, we're highlighting a native restaurant in our community who still exists today. Mike's Court has been in this area since the early 1990s and is a well-known sports eatery. Today, Teresa Miller sits down with Mike to discuss the history and significance of Mike's Court.
As an iconic homegrown business in Altoona, I want you to share with our viewers how you got to this place.
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I was born in the neighborhood, and my dad had frequented the tavern, and he took us in there as kids, and it was a family-friendly place. It was very small. The owner was Henry Allenpreece, and I just became friends with Henry and some of the customers there, as my dad did, and we would go in, and over the years, my dad had a very good relationship with Henry Allenpreece, and when I got out of college, Henry had asked if I wanted to purchase the business, and I had a lot of mixed emotions, you know, getting out of college and not sure what exactly what I wanted to do. So I had a couple other jobs, and I lost the opportunity to purchase the business. And I was searching for myself and trying to find out what my niche was and what I wanted to do in life. Well, after having a couple jobs that were just okay, didn't pay that well, I was struggling financially, you know, student loans, a car payment, still living at home. The opportunity came back, and I still actually got to purchase the building from Henry, and that's how it all started. And we started out very small. I worked every day from 2 o'clock till about 2 in the morning back in the day when people were out late. And eventually the business grew. You know, we got more into the food business, and I think hard work and being friendly to the customers and always saying thank you has paid off. But I was also been blessed with great customers too. So the relationship's been good.
So how long have you been the owner of Mike's
I've been there
Court?
28 years. 29 will be around June 4th. So it's, you know, when we first purchased the business, I really didn't know what to call it. Me and my family talked, and my mother came up with Mike's Court.
Because it's kind of, it has the look sort of a sports bar.
Yes, and I've always loved basketball, been a part of basketball in my life, and my mother just blurted out Mike's Court, and it was just it just hit, just like that, bam, and that was it.
And how have you, as a small business owner, been able to stay afloat during COVID when everything's been shut down and you're not a corporate business, you're just a one-man
Yes.
show?
It was very difficult when you see your sales plummet 70%, and then just fighting through all that and trying to pay bills and trying to keep your customers employed and keeping everybody happy. It was difficult. But the customers were great. They were very generous to my workers, and we made it through the worst part. I've been blessed with really good family. My wife's been supportive of my kids, and of course all the employees. You know, they've we have a small number of employees, but all of them have been great through all this, and the community and everybody. So you look back and you think, you know, really, with all the negativity that goes on in the world, I think most people are good. You know, there's a lot going on in the world that is sad, and you see this people not liking these people, but I think overall, deep down in people's heart, everybody wants to be good.
Now, I drive down the boulevard and I have 100 choices of restaurants to go to, chain restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get your name out there? Because you're in an obscure location.
Yes, I think just when you're in business, anybody, you have to do it, and you have to do it every day. And I think so many people lose sight of that start businesses. They give up early and they let it fold, knowing that they have to work hard. I think with the way I was brought up and the way I handled my business throughout the years, it's when you do something every day and you do it pretty good, then I think that brings your customer base bigger and bigger as time goes on. So I think that part is important, doing it every day and doing it pretty good every day. Now, things don't work out always. There are always things that go wrong. Sometimes you can mess an order up or something like that, but we always try to make it right for our customer. Right. So, you know, if we do something wrong, we, you know, try to fix it.
I've been to your place quite a few times, and I can honestly say that every time I go there, it's a pretty packed place. And I personally think that part of that is the way you handle it. You always come to our table, you always make yourself known, greet us, ask us how we're doing. So that brings me to my next question. We know that you've had some good fortune throughout the years, and I've heard through the grapevine that you have turned that around and actually shared that good fortune with your customers. And correct me if I'm wrong, you have had a day where you've adjusted the prices on your menu because of your good fortune. So just kind of talk to us about that thought process of doing that, you know, for your customers.
Yes, you know, I wanted to make sure that, you know, you give a little bit back all the time. We had a couple nights there, you know, after my lucky situation with the lottery, of course, which everybody knows, that, you know, the very first night, everything was $2, no matter what you bought, you know. So we had a lot of fun with it, and everybody kind of got a kick out of it, you know. So we've done that a few times, and it was kind of interesting, kind of fun. But, you know, you're blessed to have people come in and spend their money there every day, once a week, once a month. And, you know, you always want to give a little bit back. And I've been very fortunate and blessed, and, you know, sometimes you just wonder why, you know, something happens to you like that. It doesn't change you, because once that initial rush is over, it's really hard to explain. I just can't, you're just the same person you always were. You know, you have your same issues in life. You have your family, you have your health, you have your business, you still have your problems, you know, that you always have. But you have to be thankful every day of what you have. You have to be thankful what God has given you. You have to be thankful for the wonderful family, and I have just an awesome wife and family. I've been so blessed, and that's number one. You know, number one is your family and your religion. Number two is how you take care of other people and how you treat other people. And I was brought up to treat everybody well. My mother, who passed away suddenly about a year and a half ago, when we were kids, you always had to thank somebody. So I make sure every customer that leaves, I thank them. And my mom taught me that lesson. You know, if my aunt sent me a card, I was made sure that I had to call her and thank her, you know. So I think being appreciative of everybody, you know, has been, you know, I'm just very appreciative of anybody who walks through that door.
And I kind of know that about you because I know you from our kids and spending time with you back during the day, and which is one of the reasons why I wanted you to come in today, is I know that you're a nice guy and a special guy, and you do give back to the community. So I'm going to leave you with one last question, just to kind of, and that is, I'm coming into your place. What is the one thing, if I've never eaten there before, the one thing you're known for that I should try off your menu?
Well, everybody likes our roast beef sandwiches with 2 kinds of cheeses, hot and sweet peppers, horseradish, and onion. That's kind of the staple of our business, the roast beef sandwich.
Okay, so everybody needs to try the roast beef
Yes,
sandwich. I
yes.
have, and it's delicious.
Yes. Yes, that's the number one thing. There are a lot of other things that a lot of people like more, but that is definitely number one.
Okay. Mike, we want to thank you for taking the time to be on the show today, and we wish you and your business all the best.
If you know a person or organization impacting our city, we want to hear about it. You can contact us at 814-944-1948 or by email at stories@jointhecity.org.
Today's Platinum sponsor is Harry's Construction, whose motto is, "If you can dream it, we can create it." Recently opening Harry's Construction Kitchen and Bath Center so you, the consumer, can see examples of the variety of services provided by the team at Harry's Construction. Regardless of the project size, Harry's team approaches each project as if it is his own home. Be sure to visit Harry's Construction Kitchen and Bath Center at 114 Main Street in Bellwood. You can also visit their website to see pictures of home improvement projects over the years. Thanks again to Harry Halk and the team for supporting Joy in the City.
Once a month, we highlight a special theme for the month. Since May is the month of Mother's Day, we felt it appropriate to give you a few interesting bits of trivia concerning Mother's Day. Did you know the first Mother's Day was celebrated in 1908 by Anna Jarvis? Did you know approximately 122 million phone calls are made on Mother's Day, making it one of the busiest phone days of the year? More people purchase fresh flowers and plants for Mother's Day than for any other holiday except Christmas. Here are a few enjoyable Mother's Day quotes. You know you're a mom when you go to the store for yourself and come out with a bag of things for your kids. Nothing is really lost until your mom can't find it. Silence is golden unless you have kids, then silence is just suspicious. Moms are pretty special, so we asked a few viewers to share on the significance of their mother in their life.
She cleans the house and she makes dinner sometimes. She takes me to stores.
My mom is always proud of me, and she supports me in every way possible.
My mom's always there in the toughest moments to make me feel good about myself. She says, don't let it down, just try again.
She's beautiful and she's nice to me. She hugs me all the time.
I love my mom because she's sweet.
I love my mom because she cares about a lot of people.
I love my gran because she's always there for me and she always supports me for everything I do.
I love my mom because she lets me pick flowers from her garden and she gets me nice clothes and she says she loves me every day.
The thing I like about my mom is she isn't talented, and when I'm down, she helps me.
I love my mom because she's very sweet and kind.
I appreciate how she's always coming to my baseball games, supporting me and always celebrating with me and stuff, and always just watching TV with me, and I just really appreciate when I'm around her.
She wakes me up in the morning and gets me ready for school. She picks me up from the bus stop. My mom encouraged me to get baptized. That she cleans our house and stuff and makes my bed.
I appreciate everything about my mother, but if I have to be specific, I'm gonna say how hardworking she is and how she would do anything for anybody and puts everybody else before herself, and she's just very selfless.
I want you to know how much I love you and how much I care about you, and just that words can't describe how appreciative and grateful I am that you're my mom and that God picked you specifically to be my mom, because I don't think anyone else could actually deal with me. And also, Troy said this doubles as a Mother's Day card and that you're supposed to see him at the end of service for the money portion of it. But love you. Bye-bye.
Hey Mom, I just want to tell you how much I love you and how much I appreciate everything that you do for me and our family, and I am so happy that you're not only my mom, but my homegrown friend that I get to do life with. Happy Mother's Day.
I love the fact that my mom is a giver, just from her heart all the time. Doesn't matter who it is or where she is, you can always find her behind the scenes somewhere. And I think that's the other thing I love about her, that she's low profile. She never seeks the spotlight, and she never tries to be in the front of things. She's always just, what can I do? Where can I help? Like, just show me what you want me to do. I think that's one of the things that I've learned to appreciate the most about her.
I appreciate my mom because no matter what, even if I don't always make the best decisions, she is always there for me, for a shoulder to cry on or to help me out in any way that she can.
Hello, for everyone who doesn't know, my name is Matt and I'm a TSS. I work in the local school districts, and actually my car broke down recently, so even at the ripe old age of 25, my mom still picks me up from school.
I want to thank you so much for the prayers that you have prayed for me over the years, because I know when I went away from the Lord that your prayers brought me back. I thank you for teaching me about the Holy Spirit from a young age and how to lead with grace. You have been such an amazing example of a Christian wife and mother, and I strive to be like you every day. So thank you for making me who I am.
When I think of appreciating my mom, there are a few words that come to my mind: love, beauty, dedication, and selflessness. Her love for Jesus has overflowed to our family. Her love for my two sisters and I is overflowing. Her beauty is radiant. Her dedication to her businesses, her family, her children, her friends, and loved ones is admirable. And she is always, always putting others before herself. She has spent her life running my sisters and I from sports to cheerleading, from life events to hospitals, from vet shopping to vacations. She is always doing for others. She babysits my two children while my husband and I work full-time jobs. She helps with our cooking and doing our laundry. Mom, I can't thank you enough for the example that you have set for me as a mom, for your love, and most importantly, as a woman of God. I love you.
I appreciate my mom because she has always encouraged me. She's been my #1 fan and is always looking for the next opportunity to brag about me, and to convey how proud she is of my achievements. Even though, I don't know what they are, but she's looking for the opportunity to brag on me in some way. Could never pay back all of the encouragement and support my mom has given me. So thanks, Mom.
We'd like to take a few moments just to say we love you. We thank you for everything that you do for us. It was a blessing having you as my mom, but also it's been a true blessing having you as a grandma to our kids as well. So we want to say thank you, we love you, and have a wonderful Mother's Day.
One thing I really appreciate about my mom is the amount of time she spends in the Word. As a child, we always knew that reading the Word and learning about what God had to say was very important to her. And she spent a lot of time studying His Word, and that was just a great example to me.
She's always been there, like if you need help with sewing or chores or stuff. If you need her to pray for you, she's right there. She is a very big inspiration to me. I love her dearly. She's always been there for me. No matter scrape an elbow or get hurt or something, she's right there. I couldn't ask for a better mom. She's really super.
I mean, the fact that my dad left when I was 10, 6 kids in the family. I had a younger sister, 2 younger brothers, and 2 older brothers. And my mom was 35, 36 years old, somewhere in that range. And, to have to raise us all by herself and didn't have the income to do that. And my dad never paid any child support, so it was rough. And we ended up being on welfare. And later on in life, my mom was able to go back to school and get into nursing and became an LPN and totally got off of that program. And just, she was always there for us. I think about how did she do it? how did she raise 6 kids and always have meals on the table, always had nice Christmas time? I'm thinking it's pretty amazing. You know, when you look back on in today, I mean, it's mostly husbands and wives both working. Some are working 2 jobs just to try to make ends meet with 1, 2, or 3 kids. Here it was, she was, you know, alone with 6. And, you know, I don't recall ever hearing my mother raise her voice. And if you were talking to any, yeah, this wouldn't be easy. 8 years since she left. And you could ask any one of the kids. We think about her every day. Every day. Okay? I mean, I know she's in heaven. So she, as much as she would miss us, she wouldn't want to come back. But we'll just have to wait till the day we get to see her again there. As bad as it was the type of dad we had, she was way beyond taking over both parents, okay? And you could ask any one of my siblings, they'd all tell you the same thing. I mean, we were super blessed to have her as a mom.
My mom is so wonderful. She's very understanding. She's very open, and she always gives me great advice, mostly to be patient and to pray. Always to pray and trust God, and with prayer, anything can be turned around.
She was a stay-at-home mother. Her father died when she was 7 years old, and her mother had to go to work, and so at a very young age, she learned how to keep the house clean. She watched over her older sister and her younger brother, because she's the more responsible. Did everything by hand, of course, and she used to cook. When she cooked, she used restaurant cookware. And but she would bake, you know, and I observed a lot, you know, so, and I actually took that with me. My mom was involved in a church, and she actually became a deacon in the church. So she's still involved in the church.
Well, my mom turns 80 this week, and I appreciate her more and more over time. The biggest thing that stands out to me is her consistency, that she always chooses peace. She's been steadfast and never moved throughout all the things we face in our lives. My mom is really young in her mind, and I appreciate that because she's always relevant. No matter what stage of life I've been in, she's always accepted me, and there was no judgment, and she would never forsake me, stick with me through anything that I was facing or going through or putting myself in over the years, and I could always just count on her to be steadfast.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
As we close out today's show, here are a few thoughts from our director, Troy Ferguson.
What's distracting you? Many of you who know and follow me on social media, you know that almost every single Saturday morning, I take my youngest son, Parker, to McDonald's for breakfast. This has become a tradition that I absolutely love and look forward to. And I used to do this with my oldest son, Jackson. Now, of course, he doesn't want to get up early Saturday now, and he doesn't want to go with us, but we always bring him something back. But years ago, Jackson and I used to go to McDonald's and have breakfast together. There was one particular instance that I'm sitting with Jackson and we're talking, and the table across from us, there was a dad with a child there, and the kid threw his wrapper on the floor. The dad saw it, did nothing about it. He just figured that somebody else would take care of it. Here's what's interesting. That little issue distracted me so much that I focused and I became irritated that this dad would not pick up his son's trash. I became irritated to the point that I was totally distracted from my time with Jackson. And when I was sitting there, Jackson says to me, "Dad, are you mad at me?" It just goes to show you that my irritation was showing all over my face and who I was. It was distracting me from my time with my son, and it was getting to the point that he felt I was mad at him because of the way I was acting. What's my point in all this? Too often, we allow things that we have no impact over, no influence in, to distract us and to even irritate us, that it takes us away from the purpose in which God has ordained. In my example here, my purpose of that breakfast time was to spend time with my son Jackson. This irritation took me away from that to the point that he thought and he felt that I was angry with him. So my challenge with you today is based on this scripture here. Mark 4:19 says this: "All too quickly, the message is crowded out by the worries or distractions of life, the lure of wealth, and the desire for other things, so no fruit is produced." You know, too many times we let things consume our minds that have nothing to do with anything we have control over. And then we are pulled away from the purpose in which God has put us in a place, whether it's a job, whether it's a church, whether it's with our family. My challenge with you today is, don't let those things irritate you to the point that it pulls you away from the attention and the function in which God put in front of you. For me, it's with my kids. So as I wrap this up, let me just remind you, there are times that God puts something in front of you for you to focus on. There are things that God has put in place in my life for me to put attention towards. And there's details, there's irritations that can pull us away from the blessings and the good things God has. And that's the way the enemy works. He is deceitful, as the scripture shows us. He is deceitful to pull you away from the purposes of God. Don't be distracted, don't be deceived, and allow God to use you and minister with what is right in front of you. And have a blessed day.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks for watching Joy in the City, True Stories. Let me encourage you to watch our other episodes of people and organizations having an impact on our community on ABC 23 at 5:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. every Sunday. You can also catch us each week on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Until then, be encouraged because God is moving in our city.